Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining us today to talk about this important topic. Tell me about the Labouré Society and its mission.
Monte, thank you so much for having me. It's such a joy to be on and to share more about the good work that Labouré is doing. Labouré was founded back in 2003 to meet a need in the church that honestly I didn't even know existed until I met Labouré, which is the increasing student debt crisis in relation to religious life. The Labouré Society is providing a solution, and to date has delivered over 300 men and women into religious life that were prevented because of their student loans from college or graduate school. We've helped doctors, lawyers, nurses, artists, all sorts of people from different walks of life who were told to basically go and take, 5 years to pay off their debt before being able to pursue the vocation God gave them. So Labouré came up with a really beautiful, innovative model for solving that problem and delivering more vocations into the arms of the church.
That's so beautiful. And we know that whatever happens in the secular world does affect our church. So this debt crisis around students is something that no one really thinks about affecting the church, but it does. About 40% of vocations are turned away because of existing debt. It makes sense that debt would be a barrier, as vows of poverty don't really make for easy loan repayment, right? How many people?
Exactly.
Right. How many people and what kinds of people are helped by the society?
Yeah, so we help people from all across the United States. As long as their loans are within the United States, we can help them. We've helped people, though, who actually have ended up in orders in other countries. Benedictines in Norcia, we have a past aspirant who's now there. We help men and women, actually a majority of women who are religious sisters, I think primarily because, most women's communities require vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, whereas some dioceses have thresholds, right, or stipends they give priests that can help mitigate like low levels of student debt. But the average student debt as we see across the country, this is a familiar conversation to anyone who's tuned into the news on this topic. It continues to increase. So with Labouré, we see the same. We see rising levels of debt, but not through irresponsibility, just people who wanted to be a doctor and felt that God was calling them that way, or, they went and got a great degree and they were teaching and God called on their heart and pulled them into this beautiful vocation. We don't want the door to be closed to those vocations just because they were doing what they believed was God's call for them in their college days, right? To go to school, what so many people do, the majority of Americans do, right? When they go to college is maybe they get scholarships, they work out financial aid, but there's still some level of debt. So, that was the need that Labouré was meeting early on when our founder met a woman who was wearing a large miraculous medal. St. Catherine Labouré is the visionary of the miraculous medal. And she was unable to enter the Carmelite convent because of her debt. And when he heard that, he said, you don't used to have a vocation, you do have a vocation. And our job as the church is to help make a way for that vocation to become a reality, because you're in service to us, right, the body of Christ.
That's so beautiful. You were talking about St. Catherine, and in her time, the barrier was a dowry, and in modern times now it's debt. How does the society actually practically work with aspirants, those hoping to discern a vocation?
Great question. Yeah, that was a funny coincidence what you mentioned about the dowry. We didn't know that when it was called the Labouré Society, but we later found out that St. Catherine herself was prevented from joining and someone had to pay for her dowry to enter the convent. It's such providence. But practically how the program works is we have 2 classes every year that are called boot camps. So to participate in a program, you have to apply through our website, rescuevocations.org. You go to the site, see if it's a good fit for you, where you are in your vocational discernment. We work with the community and the aspirant. Any order that's within the canon of the church, right, that's magisterially accepted, we'll work with. And what happens then is they go through a really state-of-the-art training process over the course of that 4 days. We have a special system for them online that has courses. We bring in amazing trainers, walk them through the idea of biblically based fundraising. And then they work together as a class, not just to mitigate their debt, but to mitigate each other's. So it's such a beautiful model that every time we have a class, I see it as the best of the church. You see a Dominican and a Franciscan and a diocesan priest, and just all these men and women from different parts of the country, different communities, all together in one room, sharing about their charisms, about their communities, about how God has called them, about their vocation story. And it's incredibly inspiring. I mean, they're the future of the church, and thanks be to God, Labouré gets to unlock the door of formation for them.
That's so beautiful.
So throughout that 6 months, they work and fundraise together. And then at the end of that, based on merit and how much they've raised, we grant them an award towards the payment of their student loans.
That's fantastic. Is there a difference in those approaching Labouré? Are there more priests or more nuns, women religious? They tend to consider their vocations earlier, right? So they're less likely to have debt.
Yeah, a great question. So we actually see more women, I think, because a lot of men will discern with the diocese, and because of the thresholds that dioceses have, sometimes men won't come to our program as often. I believe we're still at about 60% women with our program. And the average age of an aspirant, gosh, I'd have to look back, but I think that we're probably mid to late 20s. They're by and large young, but it's the sort of men and women that are called maybe after some type of professional career. So they're really, a lot of them are very seasoned. They're not, 18 years old, but they come with kind of a more interesting some more interesting life experience that I'm sure God is going to use in great ways in their vocation.
And we've seen so many reports about the need for vocations for immigrant populations. They're greatly needed to serve the church. Are they hindered by debt, or might their parents be discouraging their vocation because they're needed to provide for the family?
Yes, believe it or not, that's something we walk with a lot of our aspirants on, is families who are not supportive for the reasons you mentioned, whether it's I expected you to be, an accountant or a doctor, or whoever, and now you're not, and our family's alone. And so there is a little bit of that. And we certainly have served a lot of men and women from different immigrant populations. We see a lot of men and women who are Spanish speakers and from just all these amazing different walks of life. But it's a great thing to pray for. If you pray for vocations, which I hope you do, I hope you pray for the men and women who are trying to answer God's call, because they often face a lot of obstacles to saying yes.
Liz, let's talk about the future then. Many have said that the younger generations, millennials, Gen Z, are more likely to consider a vocation. What's driving that?
I think it's the beauty and kind of blooming of the church and tradition. I think I look at a lot of these communities that are flourishing. They're ones that are really vibrant, steeped in the magisterium, steeped in the truth, beauty, and goodness of the church as it was traditionally understood. So we see that a lot through Labouré, just through the communities who are coming to us. And I'm so inspired by a lot of these young men and women. I think that because they're seeing better, younger examples of a religious life or priestly life lived well, it's invitational, right? They want to be a part of this world because it's being lived in a beautiful way.
That's so wonderful. Thank you so much, Liz. And we'll be sharing the resources both to support and accompany through prayer these vocations that need our help.
Thank you so much, Monte.
The Labouré Society has assisted more than 300 people into formation to the priesthood or religious life. If you are discerning a vocation and looking for financial assistance, or if you want to support the future leaders of our church, you can visit the Labouré Society's website at rescuevocations.org.